I'm honored to say that a great partner of JFrog is Sonar. Allow me to introduce my first guest and co-speaker on stage, Tariq Shaukat, CEO of Sonar.
Morning, great job.
Tariq, thank you for joining us.
It's a pleasure.
We're honored to have you on stage.
Good morning, everybody.
And I think everybody knows Sonar, but why don't you share a moment to introduce you and the company?
Sure. Well, good morning, everybody. Congratulations on an amazing event, Shlomi. We are Sonar. I'm the CEO of Sonar. Sonar makes a number of products, most well-known of which is Sonar Cube, which is really, we believe, the leading product for code quality and security, and we'll talk more about that.
How many of you guys are using Sonar? Raise your hand.
Makes me
Are you happy
this morning? Very happy. Yeah. Thank you.
We can finish, like this is the peak of the event. We can stop here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, leave on a, what is it from Seinfeld, the Costanza high note, right? Exactly.
But our team works intensively together, Tariq, to build a better software supply chain process. And the code quality that Sonar secure and promise to your users, thousands of them, millions of them, how do you see the future when these two platforms are integrated with today's threats and today's challenges?
Well, I mean, you hit on this a little bit earlier, that really, we are in the business, like you're in the business of helping to solve your problems, helping to solve customers' problems. And I have never met a customer who says, I would like to have siloed solutions that don't talk to each other and don't work together terribly well. And so, you know, what I'm excited about and excited when I received the invitation to join you is that we at Sonar are helping when you start writing your code, when you start merging your code into your code base with the quality assessments and the code security assessments and quality gates. And then you are handling, JFrog is handling the next piece of this, how you build your binaries, how you actually are, your artifacts, I'm sorry, how you are scanning your code, how you're securing it, and really, I think making sure that we work seamlessly together is just, it's a natural fit, and hopefully it is a natural fit for our customers as well.
For sure it is. What do you think about like leaping forward to the world of AI? Should we expect any changes in that context?
I think a lot will change and a lot will stay the same, right? And what I mean by that is you know, you talked about bottlenecks shifting. I think bottlenecks will shift. It has never been about how fast do developers type on keyboards, right? This has never been the key thing. We want productivity, we want output, we want great code to be shipped, and we want great products to be shipped. We talk at Sonar a lot about trust but verify, right? Or when I'm feeling in a marketing mood, vibe then verify is what we call it, right? Vibe then verify to us is really important because that verification step, the assurance, making sure that your code is not just good. You can trust the coding agents. We've done a lot of benchmarking work on the models themselves, and they're pretty good. They actually solve your problem, you know, 3 times out of 4, something like that, the better models. But they do it with security issues. They do it with maintainability and tech debt. They do it with quality issues, right? Reliability issues, things like that. So trust but verify is important, and we, again, think that we are helping you all with that verification step as the code is being written, but that verification step needs to go all the way through the process, and that's where this collaboration comes in.
You know, we are working together with the Sonar team, and this is a great experience and a great opportunity for me to say thank you for your partnership. When you look to the left of where JFrog is positioned, we see companies like Sonar, companies like GitHub. Some of them you will hear today on stage. Also, Tariq team is going to share with you more best practices and what the community is telling us that is important for us to know when we build a better integrated tool for you. Tariq, if you don't mind, I want you to stay with me on stage. If I can have a chair here, guys, this would be amazing. But you know why I want you to stay on stage? Because I'm going to call my next guest on stage. And listen, guys, this is something that there is no other way than just listening to you and what you demand. When we shared with you our vision about how DevGovOps should look like, earlier this year, some of you reached out to us and said, listen, what you built with GitHub last year, we want you to build with ServiceNow. And with no further ado, I would like to call on stage a friend and a partner, someone who runs as the general manager, the ITSM for ServiceNow, Mr. Rahul Tripathi. Thank you, Rahul, for joining us.
Thank you for having us here.
I'm having fun. Like, I have all my friends on stage. They're like this. It feels like my own party. Thank you. And thank you for the partnership. And I shared it with you guys. We heard you asking for this partnership because of the logic layer and the infrastructure layer that need to come together and make your life easier when you release software daily, when you release application daily. Rahul, I wanted to ask you, there is the system of records for infrastructure, for artifacts. There is the system of records for ITSM. In the context of today's world, how do you see these two working together, and what is your vision for the next 5 years of this type of partnerships?
I think it's very complementary. So like JFrog is the system of record for the software supply chain. ServiceNow is the system of record for what we call enterprise workflows. It means for the back office, which is IT, HR, legal, a lot of processes are involved, and the front office, like customer service calling in. Remember, when you have an incident, somebody calls customer service, then they call the developer. So developer is the back end of the chain, and they are kind of looking at what to do, what not to do, and we make that easier. And this kind of integration takes it even to the next step.
So when we think about the next 5 years, what our users, the ServiceNow and JFrog users, what they should expect to see coming from these two platforms as the system of records of their application delivery lifecycle?
I think it's the speed, right? So we are not only solution providers, we are also large-scale software developers, and we use JFrog as well. And one thing I've noticed running some of these large DevOps teams want to run very, very fast, right? Multiple days, and anybody in the audience likes the compliance and how it slows you down? Anyone likes it? No, right? Everybody wants like, can I get this done faster? But none of us want to receive any letter in the email that my application was breached or be in an overnight weekend sorting out these incidents. So I think risk and compliance is important to manage, and this is what we can do by integrating these tools better together. Imagine if there is an incident happening, you can quickly point to the package that caused that incident. Or when you are trying to promote a package in your dev chain, and you know this may be a risk and compliance. So you don't go back and forth, you can move faster. So I think it's about kind of getting IT ops moving at the speed of DevOps. I think that's what this is about.
And when we think about ServiceNow, huge investment in the world of AI. When we think about the AI tower, I think you call it at ServiceNow, how will this make application delivery lifecycle kind of better, especially when we integrate?
So I think AI is everywhere. So what we are seeing becoming the AI platform for business transformation, because when you're in the business workflow, you have AI. And then how do you do governance across AI? Similar to what you are doing for the enterprise, for the artifacts, we have to look at across the enterprise in terms of the agents being used, use cases there, what models are being deployed, are people getting value out of it, risk and compliance. So we are investing in technologies like AI Control Tower to be able to give enterprise the peace of mind that this end all can be managed.
I'll tell you, in March this year, we took the challenge of making sure that we come to SwampUp ready with what you have asked for. First of all, I want to thank the people in the audience that reached out to us at the LEAP event and asked for that. I want to thank you, because this is exactly what we always say about JFrog. We are very good listeners. But then when we contact our friends at ServiceNow, and we still argue about who owned this green color, we have the identical green color in our logo. But when we contacted our friends at ServiceNow and said, listen, this is not us. This is A, B, C customers that are saying, you guys just go and find a room and work together to make our life easier. And they jumped on this challenge. And what you will see today on stage demonstrated is not only a vision, but a work of two teams that was committed to a better application lifecycle delivery. Thank you so much, Rahul, for joining us. Please join us here. I need the chairs coming, and oops, magic.
And thanks, Shlomi, and world needs more green.
More well, you know, I'm wearing a different green today. This is not the JFrog green. This is the green of the next guest, the next guest logo that will come on stage. There are a lot of companies that are speaking about AI, okay? I don't think that you ever heard so many CEOs speaking about AI like they know what they speak about, like myself. We all speak about it. It's going to change the world. It's going to be different. It's the next revolution. It's amazing. But there are some companies that paved the way for the entire industry to be ready for what we call the artificial intelligence revolution. One of them is my next guest, the person who runs enterprise AI for Nvidia, Mr. Justin Boitano.
Awesome. Thank you.
Well, Justin, listen, guys, first of all, I'm so privileged and honored to have you all on the same stage. But when we look at Nvidia, that's the god of AI. You guys, you just tell us what you want us to do. We will follow. But we start to hear, Justin, some people in the audience saying everything that we were trained to do better and faster in the cloud to become a cloud-first companies is now coming with a question mark at the end. Maybe we should build something that is fit to purpose. Maybe it should be hybrid and not just cloud. And before we start to speak again about application delivery and software delivery, maybe you can share with us your vision about this hybrid, or what we call in JFrog, the amphibian environment.
Yeah, I think every enterprise today thinks the easy path to AI starts with frontier models in the cloud. And I think that's because we want the most accurate models to get us going. But as we all know, retail, smart stores, the action happens in the store. Smart distribution centers, you've got to have AI running at the edge. And so every enterprise, even Nvidia, like we run our AI in an AI factory in our data centers. And most people probably are wondering, like, why is Nvidia here? They're a hardware company. We are a huge contributor to open source software, and we have been for years, which has powered the AI being built in the clouds. But we realize the industry also needs open software and open models to be able to move this AI into their data centers. So we have a family of models that we build that are chart topping for reasoning, tool calling, document understanding, and retrieval, because every enterprise wants to use those capabilities and build them into agents that they can fine tune and build specialized agents that run in their data centers and infuse that capability at the edge. And so these models, while we start with Nemotron models, we package all the open models into a secure runtime that we call NIMs. They're performance optimized, they're easy to set up, and they're enterprise grade so that you can run them in your data centers. But this intelligence that's in these models, you have to think of this like a raw material that needs to be refined with the institutional knowledge of your enterprise, the high fidelity data in the structured data sources, and the unstructured data that you have within your enterprise. This technology or the capability we call post-training the models. And these models are very much like smart college graduates. They got to come in, you got to be fully onboarded into your company, know how to do work within your organization. And so we provide a range of tools that help with profiling, tracing, reinforcement learning, evaluation and guardrailing of these agents as you build them in production and put them to work within your company. And we call that the NEMO platform. And then finally, as a big enterprise, we like to apply the technology on ourselves. I think it was a year ago, Jensen asked us to double the number of chips that we have to create as a company. And so we had to rethink how we do engineering at Nvidia to double that cycle time. And the only way we could do it without doubling hiring was to use AI and infuse that in the chip design cycle. So at this point, we have hundreds of these agents co-designing our next chips, next GPUs, next networking, and switches running on an AI factory on-prem, and all of those artifacts are managed at a JFrog Artifactory.
Thank you. And thank you. And we are honored to partner with you guys. Okay. But I think that one of the greatest question that I had with my team when we started to work with Nvidia, obviously it was an amazing challenge and experience for us. And Nvidia and JFrog partnered around the NIM models. Again, coming from the industry, coming from our joint customers, asking us to look at Artifactory as the model registry, and whatever packages we host there, whether it's a Python script or your Conda or Siran for data scientists, everything that you work in the day-to-day task of AI should be next to the models themselves in the same model registry, and we build it together, and that was quite an amazing experience. When you think about a single source of truth for all models, or all models and data that train them, how important it is when you are building models to even optimize the hardware that NVIDIA is selling?
Yeah, so we realized like if you can performance optimize the model, you can get a 2 to 3x token efficiency out of the underlying hardware. And NVIDIA continues to drive these accelerations first through open source. But many enterprises, honestly, just don't have the development teams to roll the open source distribution and harden that for their company. And so we do that as an offering for end customers into these NIMs. Now, the NIM, when it lands on your AI factory, when you first run it, it's going to build an optimized binary runtime to optimize that kernel and drive that token efficiency as performed as possible. We've got to store that in the Artifactory. There's a container that gets delivered. These containers have upwards of 400 dependencies. And so maintaining them is very complicated. The developers want a northbound API that remains stable, while the security teams want the underlying CVEs addressed immediately, right? And so these containers continue to be updated very quickly as we see a lot of exposure show up in open source. And then we deliver an SBOM and a VEX report to enterprises to make it easy to take these model endpoints into production. And so as you think about an agent being built, then an agent is really a collection of tens of these models connected to a bunch of your data sources. And so traceability and explainability of how these agents access your corporate information becomes critical for putting to work in all of our companies.
Impressive. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Why don't you join me here, Justin?
Thank you.
I would like maybe Rahul, Tariq, come closer to me. I want to, first of all, I want to say thank you for not just being a great partner, but also being a great customers, all of you of JFrog. We are honored, of course. And it's much easier when you eat your own dog food, or the way we say it in JFrog, kind of drink your own champagne. But we are seeing so many people embracing, changing the world with adopting AI and AI practices. And still, people are asking us, is it going to be different? Will you have a packed room, a sold-out swamp up next year, or should we expect less developers? Is AI changes the world or replacing human beings? So maybe in the few moments we have left, we can share with the audience your take about yes or no, they should start think about a different profession, or on the contrary, they should be more excited about what the future brings. Tariq, you want to start? Rahul, Justin, feel free.
I think they should be more excited about what the future brings, because I think that, you know, as I said earlier, the least interesting part of the job in many ways is how quickly you type the code into a keyboard, right? And the design pieces, the figuring out how you're going to solve the problem, figuring out how you make it work in your code base. I mean, everyone here has got tens, if not hundreds of millions, if not billions of lines of code that they're managing, and you have to figure out in that context how you actually make it work to solve your problem. So I think the job becomes more interesting. It'll be different. You have to review more code written by AI. You need to figure out how to make that easier, things like that. But I think it's a more interesting time.
I think I have a personal and a professional perspective. When my son asks me the question, who's a software developer, I tell him, like, humans are like creativity and intuition, right? Those are the things that make us resilient. If you stick to it, we have gone through the industrial revolution, we have gone through the computer revolution, this revolution too shall pass, and humans will still be there. Professional thing is, I think what Tariq was saying, in my view, we work with AI, so think of it as you have a buddy agent with you who's going to take care of things that you don't want to do. Like in our world, we see none of the agents want to type all the resolution notes and everything, and that is what makes it more interesting for the next incident to be deflected. But now AI does it for you, so now it is helping you do what you don't want to do. So I think working better together can be a much smarter strategy, I think.
Do you think that in your group you would expect to see more developers or less developers working on the ServiceNow foundations?
So actually we are hiring a lot, right? Since the AI revolution, since we put that thing that will be the AI platform for business transformation, we have been hiring a lot of developers across the board. Of course, we expect people to have more AI skills. They need to know how to work with AI. So I think those skills become a lot more relevant, but it's not like we are replacing our current developers with some new breed of developers. So I think it's an opportunity in my mind.
And Justin, Nvidia is one of the most efficient business I ever saw, like getting to where you guys are and how you build it. Do you see this world being created and replacing human beings, or what do you think?
I think that's overhyped, I'll say. I think AI just really improves the ingenuity of the engineers. And I think so long as we all have ideas on what to create next, you know, we can put these agents to work for us so that we become more productive. And so we see it really, like I said, improving software engineering productivity, chip design productivity, customer service, and you know, sales and marketing productivity across the board.
And I will add to it, and thank you everyone for sharing your insight. I just know that 15 years ago, when CI/CD started, I think Rahul, you mentioned it in your word, we had a lot of people in our community that didn't trust this Hudson or TeamCity or Bamboo or Jenkins, if you guys remember this name. And CI/CD made developer faster by 1,000 times. these build servers were not eating, sleeping, nor taking a break or holiday. And we became faster. And there were new challenges that got born. Challenges of security and delivery, hardware that need to contain all of this. But there is one thing that I seriously believe that that is the difference between yes or no, AI and agents will replace developers. There will be developers that would be replaced. These are the people that are not embracing the change. These are the people that are not understanding, they are not yet understanding how fast it happens. Most of our customers are already telling us that they are looking at new threats and new builds and new ways to create code together with machine. So embrace the change. Be very powered and empowered and honored to have the privilege to live in this era. 200 years ago, people experienced what we now experience in years that is changing the world. My friends, my partners, first of all, on behalf of the community, thank you for your partnership and the collaboration with JFrog. Thank you for choosing us to be your trusted partners. I'm committed, my team is committed to make sure that we deliver better software together. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.